again, everybody, and welcome to Power Pro Wrestling. I'm Jim Ross. Thank you very much for being with us. Very exciting hour in store for everybody. You're going to see a great main event in the hour. It's an exclusive first-run match that features the missing link versus the man with hands of stone, Ronnie Garvin. That great matchup coming to us from Houston, Texas, Ronnie Garvin versus the missing link. You're also going to see Terry Taylor and Ed Carr Boo Thomas. He's an All-American from the University of Oklahoma. You fans in Kansas City, Corson, and Tulsa, and throughout the old Mid-South area familiar with Ed Carr. Plus, you're going to see Dr. S.D. Williams back in action, a match from the past. The Fantastics also will be with us here. Shawn Michaels, one half of the Midnight Rockers. Kamala on the card. And we're going to kick it off here on Power Pro Wrestling with a special look at Rick Steiner. This match, when he first came to the area, the color commentator will be the NWA World Champion, Ric Flair. And now let's go to Shreveport and the Irishman Neil Boys Club and Joel Watts.
This event one fall with a 10-minute time limit. In the red corner from New York City, Rick Steiner. And across the ring, his opponent in the blue corner, Nick Patrick. Your referee, Alfred Neely.
Alfred Neely, the referee for this match. Newcomer Rick Steiner. Tremendous young athlete. Fine build. He's going against rookie Nick Patrick. Should be a fine athletic clash.
Well, you're looking at a tremendously, you're looking at an awesome athlete right now. This kid right here, Rick Steiner, was a Big Ten collegiate wrestling champion, competed in the Nationals, competed in the Olympic trials. Look at the body on this man. That's why, and I give you and your father credit, and the whole Mid-South, you bring the best competition in the world in here. That's why this young man's here. Just look at that physique. One of the most powerful men, I'm sure, to be seen in the Mid-South in a long, long time.
Well, he looks to me to possess some natural athletic skills, and he's certainly dominating Nick Patrick now with his amateur style. And Nick Patrick, of course, a little bit more experience than Rick Steiner in the Mid-South rings. I think he's learned a little bit here, and I think that he may be able to pose at least more than just a small threat for Mr. Rick Steiner.
Well, we'll take nothing away from Nick Patrick. He's a great young wrestler. He's got a tremendous future in this sport. But I'm going to have to put my money right now. My educated opinion says that Rick Steiner is going to be too much for young Nick Patrick.
You know, I'm a little bit perplexed at this point. You were saying that Hacksaw Butch Reed will probably be out of professional wrestling forever. I tend to doubt that because Hacksaw Butch Reed goes in the face of all kinds of adversity. When he wrestled you, he was in the midst of a severe knee injury, and he swallowed the pain, and he took on the load, and he went out there and he took it to you, and no offense to you, Rick, but he pinned you right in the middle of the ring.
Well, there again, you said it earlier, I don't have to value your opinion, and I don't. When you're the world champion, you're wrestling the best competition in the world day in and day out. I'm not down in Hollywood, and I'm not over at the MTV studios. I'm wrestling the best competition day in and day out. Now, Butch Reed, I don't take anything away from the fact that you call him a great wrestler because he is. And yes, he was fortunate enough to catch a fall on me. I never heard the 3 count myself. If you say he got it right now, for the last sake of no argument, I'll say he got the 3 count on me. I didn't hear the 3 count. But that's beside the point. Right now, Butch Reed is history. Joel Watts, mark this. What comes out of my mouth is as good as gold. Butch Reed will not see another title shot with Ric Flair.
Well, I certainly hope you're wrong in that instance. Nick Patrick there with a flying body press. He just about gains the fall. Well, Rick, I've really respected you for the fact that you've defended your title so adamantly and so many times, day in and day out, all over the country. You faced the toughest opponents. If ever there was a fighting champion, you certainly have been one. But my respect for you was tarnished by that incident, and I don't think that there's ever going to be anything that will erase that from my mind, and I'm sure in the minds of a lot of the fans here in the
Well, Joe Watts, once again, I'll remind you of the fact that I don't have to respect your opinion, and if I've been tarnished, if my estimation in your eyes has been tarnished, then you ought to see my bank book. Because you look like the kind of man, and knowing your father like I do, that likes the good life. You like to live in a big house on the big side of town. You ought to see where I live and where I hang my hat, Daddy, and what I'm driving around when I'm in my home. So you take that tarnish and you put some shine on it again, brother, because I'm what's happening in professional wrestling. I'm the man. And let's take a look at Rick Steiner right here, just as I predicted. He's in total control. And I'll tell you, just making a prediction that's never going to take place because Butch Reed isn't coming back, but from the looks of Rob Ricksteiner, it's a good thing that Slater and I got rid of Reed because this young man right here probably would have broken his neck if we hadn't done it for him.
Well, I don't know about that, but Rick Steiner controlling the head there. Nick Patrick back up to the base, firing away with some elbows. He manages to break the hold to Rick Steiner there with a clubbing right hand to the side of the neck. Whoa! Rick Steiner, extremely impressive. That
tremendous press slam.
That has proved to me his wrestling ability beyond a shadow of a doubt. Suplex.
Belly to belly. Never looked better. I guess my expertise came in handy again. As I said, I could pick a good athlete from a mile away. I saw this kid coming down the aisle, Joe Watson. I knew that he was going to be a great wrestler. And he's going to terrorize the Mid-South. That's my prediction in the months to come.
Nature Boy Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion, here with us on Power Professional Wrestling. We'll be back with more action later, but first, let's go back to the studio and Jim Ross.
Rick Steiner, the strong man from the University of Michigan, the All-American. Perfectly executed belly-to-belly suplex and a great victory some months back for Rick Steiner. But now that he is under the wing of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert in the new merger between Hot Stuff and Missy Hyatt, I sincerely expect great things to come from Rick Steiner. And if he improves like his partner and his comrade now, Sting, he will certainly be a force to be reckoned with in the not-too-distant future in the Universal Wrestling Federation. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back and look at the former UWF Tag Team Champions. They're on their way back. The Fantastics will be with us right after this.
This tag team event, one fall or television time remaining. In the red corner from Bucksnort, Tennessee, the Dirty White Boys. From the City of Angels, Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton, the Fantastics.
Fantastics having a little problem getting in the ring. The young ladies are certainly taking the shine, so to speak, to the Fantastics. There you see them greeting their many fans. It certainly won't be nearly as pleasant as this when they get in there with the Dirty White Boys. This is a key tag team confrontation, ladies and gentlemen, in the Mid-South area. Fantastics coming into the ring. There you see them.
Well, Tommy and Bobby were literally incensed over what happened last week in their match with Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase. And they said they wanted to take on the Dirty White Boys and try to regain a measure of respect for themselves. They have even canceled their upcoming contracts to try to come back to the Mid-South and go after those Mid-South tag team titles.
Of course, a couple of weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, you saw these same two teams battle to a draw. We ran completely out of television time. It was a heck of a battle then, and we expect no less at this point in time. And we've seen some great battles. The return of Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch. He is back in the Mid-South. He's making a stand for all Americans, just like Hacksaw Duggan, just like Cowboy Bill Watts against General Skandar Akbar's mercenaries.
Tommy Rogers showing that he's got all the amateur credentials it takes to be a successful pro. Tommy is so quick and moves so well in a close situation like that. He's one athlete that can tie up with you, get in tight, and he doesn't have to worry about being outweighed in a lot of situations because he knows how to take your legs out from underneath you and get you down, and then you're, whoa, all four men and the ring at the same time now. We're not even 1 minute into the match, and now all four men in. Tommy and Bobby, very unorthodox successful nonetheless. Double arm whip. The Dirty White Boys go to try it. They went to the well, and it didn't work. Oh, the Fantastics.
They're
really
cooking.
shining.
They are cooking here in Mid-South Wrestling, and this crowd at the Irish and Neil Boys Club love it. Boy, that'll pull some hamstrings and groin muscles, I'll tell you. The Fantastics on fire in Mid-South. They're as hot as those red. They're red hot, just like the tights they have on.
Tony and Bobby really showing their stuff, but you got to realize that hold there can have a residual effect. The groin and the hamstring muscles are very sensitive. Get that thing out of pulled like that, they could really cause you problems in a wrestling match. Lynn Denton coming back into the ring now. He tags his partner, Tony Anthony.
Well, obviously, the Dirty White Boys would like to slow the pace somewhat down. This tempo got extremely quick, and that's the way you'll see the Fantastics operate on. Well, every time I've ever seen them in the ring, they kick it in gear. They'll operate on a different plane.
That's definitely their kind of match, Jim.
You know, Joel, they joined together here in the Mid-South for the very first time. They've gone to Dallas. They've become the World Class Tag Team Champions. As you said, they're canceling all their bookings in the Dallas area. They're coming back to the Mid-South with one thing in mind. That's the Mid-South Tag Team titles. Just like Jake the Snake and the Barbarian, just like the Rock and Roll Express, just like the Freebirds. And next week, one of those four teams will face Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase for the Mid-South Tag title. So, ladies and gentlemen, we certainly hope you'll be with us next week for that big encounter. Plus, I understand the Snowman is going to defend his TV title next week as well. So, next week, another exciting hour.
Bobby Fulton tags in Tommy Rogers. Tommy high over that top rope. He leaps up and catches Tony Anthony a hard drop kick. Anthony feeling the sting of the canvas there. Rogers gets a headlock on Lynn Denton. Tagging in now to Bobby Fulton. Bobby Fulton with the collar and elbow tie-up. The Fantastics have refined their tag team tactics to where they just operate like clockwork in the ring, I'm telling you. Lynn Denton managed to catch Bobby Fulton a little off guard with a drop kick of his own. Denton, of course, a great grappler as well. You can't take anything away from him. He hits Bobby Fulton a hard clothesline, goes for the lateral press, but only a 2 count. Lynn Denton there attacking Bobby Fulton with right crosses. Both men in a double elbow. Double elbow. Lynn Denton over there trying to distract Tommy Rogers. That's the kind of tactic that's made the Dirty White Boys successful, in my opinion. Maneuvering the referee out of position, using the boots, illegal punches, and using the ropes. They certainly live up to their name, Dirty White Boys. I tell you, I don't stand for what they did to Terry Daniels one single bit. Tony Anthony missed with that right cross. Bobby Fulton trying to fight back from his knees. But Anthony catches him in a headlock.
Denton has been tagged in. It's Lynn Denton now and Bobby Fulton. This match, neck breaker. That could be all for Bobby Fulton. Denton for the lateral press, 1-2. And ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 minutes of television time remaining in this exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling.
Lynn Denton with a hard body slam from way, way up there. Bobby Fulton was crashing to the canvas, but he's back up and firing right crosses to the midsection of Lynn Denton. But he was having to contend with both those men over there. That's the thing about... Whoa! Anthony... Bobby Fulton makes the tag. Bobby Fulton makes the tag, and Tommy Rogers is in, and brother, he is like a buzzsaw. Look at him go. Rights, lefts, drop kicks. He's hitting them with everything but the kitchen sink. Rogers in there firing away now. All 4 men in. Tommy with the arm whip. Rogers missed the drop kick. Lynn Denton has got his foot off. Lynn Denton has got his foot off, but he pounds Tony Anthony with it. Bobby Fulton with the drop kick. Tommy Rogers with an inside cradle, the lateral press, 1, 2, and 3.
Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton with a victory here on Power Pro Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, on the last Universal Wrestling Federation program, the Fantastics lost the UWF Tag Team titles to Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting. I know that's maybe news to some of you, but the bottom line, I think, in this statement is the fact that rematches are being negotiated for, and wherever that match is signed, I wholeheartedly encourage you to attend, because we just might see the shortest reign ever for tag team champions. And speaking of Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting, the Fantastics on the title hunt. And we'll be right back with Dr. Death Steve Williams in action after this word from the Universal Wrestling Federation.
Match one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first in the red corner at 269 pounds from Oklahoma University, Steve Dr. Death Williams. His opponent weighs 285 pounds from the state of Tennessee, Carl Stiles.
Big Carl Stiles going in against Dr. Death Steve Williams. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Tommy Gilbert waits for Jim Ross to clear the ring. There's the bell.
We'll have the Fantastics coming up next, so stay tuned for this exciting hour of Mid-South Wrestling. Two super heavyweights, 285-pound Carl Stiles, who bench presses over 500 pounds, and of course, four-time All-American. Two-time Big 8 champion, both in football and in wrestling. Dr. Death Steve Williams, a man who used to weigh 310 pounds but has trimmed down to a lean, mean 269 pounds. Ted DiBiase is back in the country. Says he'll make his first appearance in 2 weeks here on Mid-South Wrestling on television. Next week, Dr. Death Steve Williams will go against Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch for the North American title. Be sure to tune in. Don't miss that one.
That should be a tremendous battle, Bill. A tremendous battle.
Well, I want to say one thing. Dr. Death is controversial, is tough, he gives no quarter and he asks none. But he's an athlete. He's an athlete. About this time last year, he and Hacksaw Jim Duggan were having some matches in full football gear, helmet and all, full pads, where they took the ring ropes down and it just went to one of them was knocked out of the ring. And let me tell you, anybody in the National Football League could take lessons from intensity and desire and just brutal one-on-one in the pits. Those two guys was somebody you didn't want to face across that line. Elbow drop. Bruiser Bob Sweetan left in power of attorney in charge of the Mid-South Tag titles. DiBiase in Japan, a multinational businessman. And Sweetan and Doc, some say, upset by Cooley and Perez. I will admit that day that certainly Sweetan and Doc had the Snake and Barbarian on their mind. But irregardless, they lost those titles. Doc's got him up for the Oklahoma Stampede. And Carl Stiles, handled like a mere child, even though he weighs 285, can now get a taste of just what it feels when you go up against a machine that's been trained from childhood to be a tremendous, dominating athlete.
And talking
What an athlete. Steve Dr. Death Williams, the four-time All-American from Oklahoma University, one of the greatest conditioned athletes in the history of the sport. And I think that is what's going to bring him back, that and his determination, his intestinal fortitude. Steve Dr. Death Williams will be back wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, contrary to what you hear from Michael Hayes and the Freebirds. And the Doc will be back very soon. I can't wait to see him. We hope that you'll be at the arena as well, and we'll be back with more Power Pro Wrestling. And a look at Shawn Michaels versus Kamala after this timeout.
So Mid-South Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, one fall with a 10-minute.
Boys, there's no match. There's no match. Kamala is still incensed, and Akbar is egging him on, and he is attacking Shawn Michaels. He's not out there to beat him. He's out there to hurt him. He's right in the ring. The referee's called for the disqualification. But there goes the referee. Kamala is out of control. But with Akbar egging him on, it looks like Akbar is just fanning the flames of the fire. Pee Wee Anderson is totally unable to look at that. He launched Pee Wee Anderson, and he is annihilating. He's annihilating Shawn Michaels. Kamala. Now Akbar just threw Carl Fergie out. Grizzly Smith's going to have to get some help because Kamala, he's going to go off the top rope. Kamala's going to try to live the career of Shawn Michaels. And look at Akbar and Friday. They don't care about a victory.
Shawn Michaels has improved a great deal, ladies and gentlemen, becoming one half of the Midnight Rockers. But he was no match for the 400-pound-plus Kamala, on this particular occasion. And Kamala, 6'6" or perhaps more, and 400-plus pounds, is an awesome athlete. And with he and Skandar Akbar and the one-man gang, that definitely is Devastation Incorporated. And we'll be right back with that exclusive Power Pro Wrestling main event, The Missing Link versus Ronnie Garvin, when we come back.
Fly at the Missing Link. He didn't get the opportunity. The Link held onto that rope just at the right time. Tremendous crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum on this Friday night. A huge crowd. It could well, with my practiced eye, I would say, be the biggest crowd of the year, and we have had some magnificent attendances. Now you see, as the camera looks around, that you're looking at the ringside here as these people are watching the Missing Link and Garvin. As far as the eye sees in this building, it's covered with fans. There will be no wrestling next Friday night. There will be wrestling, more of the same, and even better, on Friday, August the 12th. Johnny Martinez, referee in this battle, as the Missing Link moves in and delivers what are actually legal wrestling blows, to hit with a forearm and to smash with that solid part of the arm. And the Missing Link wants to go missing, and there's a well-placed foot, and the idea worked out perfectly well as far as Ronnie Garvin was concerned. So now fans who are getting their first look at Garvin, their first look at the Link, know what to expect from him. On Friday, August the 12th, here in this ring at the Sam Houston Coliseum, a dog collar match and a bull rope battle, all in the same ring at the same time, with the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and the Junkyard Dog going against Kamala, the Ugandan Warrior, and Ted DiBiase. Close-up look now as the head of the Missing Link is pushed back, and I'll tell you, I don't think that hairdo of his is going to be popular, but it is popular with him. Garvin keeps crowding. There is a tough one to take. Getting that pressure, that snap at the elbow can do irreparable damage. Johnny Martinez carrying the argument to the Missing Link, and he doesn't seem to be getting any signs of acknowledgement, but John's trying. Close-up look. And again, it's right at the junction of that elbow, and as the Link comes in, he adds to the pressure by making use of his knee. Link pursuing him. This Garvin's smart. He's waiting for his own moment to come forward and to meet him in that referee's hold. Wing lock. Pressure on the elbow, and there is the Link himself as Ronnie Garvin starts to measure him with a fist. He took him down, put him down, I might say. 5 minutes have gone by, and Johnny Martinez is trying to question just what Link did that time, but he never got an answer from him. He hasn't gotten an answer from him all night. I don't know why he should get it now. There is a strange-looking individual. Kamala has really given birth to a lot of people who think that their faces can be made more beautiful by adding to them. I'm not quite certain. I'm trying to figure out the Missing Link, and individually, not collectively, but individually are getting on his case and really sounding off to him, trying to get the referee to pay attention to some of the things that the Link is doing. In the corner, Link and Ronnie tried to throw him across that ring, and he was stopped. Garvin is ready. He's ready to throw that fist, and now this crowd here at the Sam Houston Coliseum, and I use that word crowd, tremendous. And they're getting to the referee and trying to point out the fact that that man, the missing link, was jerking Garvin by the hair as well as by the arm, and the combination of the two leverages was more than Ronnie could stand, and he went down. Caught in a wing lock, and Garvin now gets a handful of nose and starts to work on it. Power behind that Link, a lot of power. That time he just took him down to the canvas by sheer strength. So Garvin's underneath, and Garvin's having problems. Our camera here on the floor of the Sam Houston Coliseum looks right up into the ring and into the action. Garvin goes up into a bridge, and the Link looks around at some of these fans who are trying to tell him what to do and where to go. Where does a man find a lake that he can jump into when people suggest it? The fans are telling Garvin to go ahead, to throw that, and the referee's telling him not to. And Garvin has his problems as he is being tied up. He was able to get better leverage by reaching in there and grabbing him by the trunks. He held onto the arm. That's what did the trouble. Now on Friday, August the 12th, our next wrestling here in the Sam Houston Coliseum. And that will have several feature matches, and one of them will be the Battle of the Hacksaws. Hacksaw Butch Reed facing Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And two hacksaws grinding away at each other is going to provide a lot of wild action. So the Link moves in, and the Link follows up on that arm because that's where he's done the damage, and he figures that by putting it in there, he's going to make the most of it. Garvin takes a waist lock, moves him around. He was able to control him with that, but he is leaving himself open for rabbit punches. Garvin's biggest problem has been that he has hesitated when there was an opening for him to throw a wallop. But I'll tell you, the Link is not hesitating. The missing Link is taking advantage of everything that comes his way. Garvin doing the pressuring, and he's got a tight grip on the Link's nose, but all that has done has been to infuriate him. And here's Garvin whipping her. Atomic drop, up and down and over, or at least half over the rope. And the missing Link that time almost took this ring apart. He was smashed into the turnbuckle, and Garvin now has got the spirit. The fans are up on their feet, and they are screaming and hollering to Ronnie Garvin to move in there and let him have it. They have been begging him. 10 minutes have gone by. They have been trying to get Garvin to let loose with one of those wallops, and he just did. Backed up in the corner, the missing Link. And he's backed up into the corner again. Garvin that time threw a wallop, and the referee was sticking an arm out there to warn him. He maneuvered around along that rope in a way that indicates he came down. He did hit with the elbow, but he's willing to take a chance in order to get his point across. Injured arm for Ronnie Garvin. And now a waist lock to try to keep the missing link in where he belongs. Johnny Martinez trying to caution the link and having very, very little success. So Ronnie Garvin, they're checking to see whether his arm is right or wrong. And so he's got a good foot, and he puts it to work. He finds that soft and tender spot. And, oh, man, Ronnie Garvin came around there with a clouding wallop and a good one. Now he's got that arm functioning. He's got his foot functioning. And the missing link is in trouble as Ronnie Garvin looks for him and goes to work on him. Listen to the uproar from these 10,000 fans here at Sam Houston Coliseum as they roar for Ronnie Garvin to move in and let him have it. Garvin doing the pounding and coming down on the back of that strange-looking head. Right. He grabbed the trunk and he put him down, but he couldn't hold him. He turned him upside down and jackknifed him, but there was just too much leg, too much leg in there. And now the missing link is the man who is in trouble as he tries to stay away from Ronnie Garvin, and Garvin keeps coming in there. So Garvin has hit his stride, and the link now is trying to figure out what to do with him, looking for a way to use a leg breaker. Spun away and took the leg with him, and that's the way to use a leg breaker. Spinning toe hold. Ronnie Garvin putting the hold on and turning the pressure in. As he changes legs and gets around, he's right in there looking for a capitulation fall, but it didn't work out that way. Still, Garvin's advantage if he moves in there fast enough, and he's moving in. Ronnie Garvin throwing the wallops that he hesitated to throw earlier in the match. He's got him right by that top knot, and monkey flip. Oh, what a solid landing. Ronnie came onto his back, and he got a good push with his feet, and it worked well. And in comes Ronnie Garvin again, and this time he tried to come up there for the monkey flip. He was belted right in the throat. The missing link sees an advantage as he uses that chopping block blow. The crowd has gotten strangely silent now as the link picks him up and drops him on his back into the turnbuckle, and those turnbuckles don't give at all. The back punishment that can really stretch you out or lay you out cold. And the missing link, crotch hold, the lift, back breaker. That's a tough hold. And now maybe a pin. It is the missing link. Wins over Ronnie Garvin.
Well, they say that Ronnie Garvin has the hardest hands in wrestling. No doubt about it. The missing link has the hardest head in wrestling, and a very hard-fought yet decisive victory over Ronnie Garvin from Houston, Texas. The missing link is a phenomenal athlete. And I know that matches are being negotiated where if the link wins a match, then Dark Journey is going to have to spend 5 minutes alone with Missy Hyatt. I want to be there to see that one because I really think that the missing link can beat either of John Tatum and Jack Victory. That's, of course, my opinion. Well, that remains to be seen. It will be proven in the ring very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments, it'll be Terry Taylor versus another Oklahoma All-American when we come back from this timeout.
In the red corner at 258 pounds from Tulsa, Oklahoma, Edgar Thomas. And his opponent, Vero Beach, Florida, 232.5 pounds, Terry Taylor. Carl Fergie, your referee.
The ever-popular Terry Taylor set to go against Oklahoma University's former All-American Edcar Boo Thomas. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Washington High School. Tremendous amateur wrestler, a man that has traveled many miles with Steve Dr. Death Williams. There's, wait just a second there. Well, he didn't learn that tactic from Coach Stanley Abel of the University of Oklahoma. Dr. Death and Ted DiBiase always have had some influence with Edcar Thomas. But Terry Taylor, Joel, what a great young star, a tremendous young star in wrestling.
Oh yeah, Terry Taylor hot on the trail, the North American title and the NWA World's Heavyweight title. This is certainly going to be a tough test for Edcar Thomas. Thomas has improved quite a bit since he's come to the Mid-South, but it's going to take a lot against this great young superstar, the man that has defeated some of the largest wrestlers. A weight disadvantage means practically nothing to Terry Taylor. He has shown that he's got the fighting heart, the agility, the wrestling expertise, and the strength. It all adds up to a great superstar.
You know, Joe, it's been brought to my attention that Grizzly Smith has met with Skandar Akbar. Apparently, the Akbar's going to bring out a new man next week called Zambui. Whatever or whoever Zambui is, Akbar will have him here next week on Mid-South Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. That should be quite a matchup. Still yet to come, Superstar Dundee against the North American champion, Eddie Hot Stuff Gilbert, Masked Man, the champion.
The Skandar Akbar's stable continues to grow in size and strength. Certainly, I think he's building up more and more artillery with the advent of my father in the ring. And frankly, I believe he's going to have to. Edgar Thomas now has got Terry Taylor in the ropes.
You know, what would this mean to Edgar Thomas's career to score a victory over Terry Taylor right here on national television?
Well, you know, Jim, on any given day, you can see an upset. That's what makes wrestling so exciting. Edgar Thomas missed with the elbow. Terry Taylor in there deep. A go-behind. Terry Taylor with the rear suplex. Edgar Thomas caught his head on that mat. That's certainly painful, but Terry Taylor's got him up, and he's catching him with rights. He caught him a hard drop kick.
Right to the jaw. Thomas goes down. Taylor, he's on fire.
Thomas feels the sting of the canvas once more as he snap-mared down, and Terry Taylor with that hard knee drop coming off the ropes. He's got Edgar Thomas in a bad way. Terry can really switch the momentum, and oh! Taylor with the four.
The winner of the match, Terry Taylor. Whether it's in single competition, like defending the UWF television title, or in tag team competition, really doesn't make any difference. That young man, Terry Taylor, is a sensational athlete and a very impressive victory over a very talented young man, Edcar Boo Thomas. Terry Taylor with a great victory. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with some closing comments and a look ahead and some big news about next week's program when we return from this final announcement from the UWF. Thanks very much for staying with us, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this hour of Power Pro Wrestling. A lot of exciting things happening in the Universal Wrestling Federation. We have new UWF Tag Team Champions, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and Sting, are the new champions that defeated the Fantastics on the last program of the UWF. Also, the big news, I think, perhaps even surmounting the title change, is the fact that Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, along with Sting and Rick Steiner, have all joined Missy Hyatt. Now, I think basically what we have here is a merger of two businesses, Hot Stuff International and Missy Hyatt's own personal company. In any event, Missy now has 5 men at her service and the UWF Tag Team Championships as well. Her situation with Dark Journey, I think, is becoming to a boiling point, and somewhere along the way, Dark Journey is going to get her hands on Missy Hyatt with or without those 5 guys around the ring. Plus, a lot of exciting things happening surrounding the UWF Tag Team title. Steve Dr. Death Williams, I know, will be back very soon. We also look forward to seeing Ted DiBiase. They'll be back to join forces with Cowboy Bill Watts. Hacksaw Duggan's situation with a one-man gang still as brutal as ever. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the next few weeks, We're going to be changing the format of Power Pro Wrestling. I think something very exciting and very revolutionary in pro wrestling, and we'll be telling you more about that in upcoming weeks. Should have a great program next week. Thank you very much for being with us. For our whole crew, I'm Jim Ross. So long, everybody.
Today at 1, Richard Boone stars in The Last Dinosaur. Now, Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier star in Let's Do It Again. Next, on WGNO 26, television New Orleans style.